Here's the next amazing piece that we're going to get you started on, and that is getting a workflow. Trust me, once you start doing one of these, all you're going to think about is what can I automate next? And what we want to do is automate our website form that we just set up. So I'm going to use that one as an example because as you begin to grow and utilize your software, you're already going to be thinking about the automations that you can set and run. Think of automations like following up to a lead. We're never going to misspell something incorrectly. We're never going to have to question what's happening next because the workflow helps the visitor go through the flow and get into your system. We're going to check out the workflow tab. I'm going to show you how to connect your lead form, set triggers, do a quick little automation, and then I'll show you how to test and run your workflow. Remember, workflows save you time by automating routine follow-ups. So let's jump in and set up your workflow. Now, we've gone into sites. We already did our form. Now what we want to do is go into automation. I'm going to select automation. When you get into automation, it's automatically going to take you to your workflows. You're going to have a screen that looks like this. You can easily follow these ideas. You can create a current workflow that's already been built, or you can create one from scratch. You'll see we've got tons of recipes. These are some quick recipes, and when you select view all recipes, it's going to show you even more. Look at all these recipes you have. We're going to start from scratch. I think this is the best way to do it. We have a full course on workflows because workflows has so many amazing features. The first thing you're going to want to do is name your workflow. We're going to call this the website form workflow. Of course, you can get more creative as you'd like. I'm using that for the training example. Inside of workflows, you're going to see the builder with adding a trigger. You're going to see the settings of the workflow, the enrollment history, and any execution logs related to the workflow. Inside of settings, this is really important. When you're setting up your first workflow, be sure to select allow re-entry. You're probably testing that over and over again. So until you're done testing, I recommend leaving it for allow entry. If you turn this off and you go to test your form, you won't get any of the automations. You want to make sure you can set the time zone. We leave it to the account time zone. And then right here is the specific time. I recommend turning on specific time. Let me give you an example. If they sent you a website form, if you're closed on Saturday and Sunday, you may not want your email response to go those days because there's no one in the office to reply. This is very important when it comes to getting in forms and taking out forms. Now, if somebody sends you a form at 11 o'clock, you may want to have be sent first thing in the morning. We got your form. Thank you so much. Our office hours are this, or we close up shop after noon. So you can set a time window, or you can always keep it off and let your automation flow based on when the user signs up. So again, if the user signs up at 11 p.m. at night, your automation is going to start at 11 p.m. at night. This is where you can put all your sender details. This is where you put your company name, your company email, the from phone number. So if you set up a phone number, you can put a phone number in there. And right here, you can select mark as read. If you select this as mark as read, this will show up in your conversations as read. I would not do that on a website. We want to see when these leads come in. Let's go ahead and go into the builder. And what we want to do is we want to set our trigger. Our trigger is going to be the form. So what we're looking for is form submitted right here. We're going to select form submitted. And you can see that is the trigger right here. I'll put form submitted, website form. This is just going to make it easier to know what actions are in my automation. Then I'm going to select the filter. Now we labeled it website form. We need to add a filter. And then we're going to select that form. There's the form you just created. We're going to select save, and there is our green form submitted. Now, what do you want to happen when the form is submitted? Well, we want to get notified. So we want someone from your team to get notified or you to get notified. There are different ways you can do this. You can do this with app notification, internal team. The first thing that pops up is send an email. Now, if you want to send an email to the person who filled out your form, you can select this send an email, fill out who from, create your email here, or use a template. Now, if you don't want to send an email and you just put on the website form, thanks for filling out the form, now you need to do an internal notification. We're going to look for internal notification right here. This is going to notify you or anybody on your team that there is a lead. You can select your notification type. You can send an email. This is an app notification or a text notification or a WhatsApp notification. However you're doing your notification. Let's go ahead and do an email notification. And then right here, this is where you would put your message to them. New lead, check it out. Now, if you want it to go to a specific user type, if the contact's been assigned, let's just do particular user and select you. That way you can test your form and make sure that you're getting notified that the new lead is here. We'll just put new lead for the subject. I forgot the subject line. So we want to have our subject line and we want to have our email. So now we've got an internal notification. The website form is filled out. We're getting notified. And now what we want to do is we want to add it as an opportunity. So let's say we go to opportunity and create an update ahead, give this a name. We want to select the pipeline. We had sales pipeline. We want to select the stage to new lead and put the name right here. We're just going to put this little squiggly contact.name. This is a custom field. So if you click this little tag, go into contact and put the full name, there it is. The opportunity source is going to be our website. This is a lead form, so there's no dollar value, but what we do want to do is leave the status in open. You'll learn more about this when you get to pipelines. We'll go ahead and allow the opportunity to move along the stage in the pipeline, and I'm going to select save. So there we go. Now there's a few other things that you can come back to and add to this form. Things like when you set up your team, you can actually assign this lead to a specific user. So you can select assign to user and select the team member from your team member list that you want to get this lead as well. Again, you'll be coming back into this and fixing it up over the next few months to be exactly the way you want it to work. There's one more tip that I want to show you that we already talked a little bit about custom values and setting up your form. We talked in the form section about when you set up your lead form, having that information come in. I'm going to show you a little tip here on adding a note. So let's go in here and I'm going to select add a note right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a note based on that form that we filled out. You'll see this little tag right here. We're going to select the contact. We'll go ahead and put the full name here. We also got their phone number and then we'll put their email. Let's go ahead and put in the custom field that we added. Select here. We're going to select how can we help. Now you can put titles here and make this all pretty. You can put name like this. Phone, email. If you had multiple items on your form, you could put in more than just that one field. But I'm going to go ahead and select add a note and select save. We saved it. We made sure it's published. Now let's go back to the form that we filled out. Let's go to sites. Let's go to our form builder. Let's preview the form. I'm going to put in another test element here. We'll put in a test 1 email. I'm going to select 2 services on this one and let's go ahead and submit that form. And let me show you what happens. So when you go into your contacts tab, let's go to contacts. We're going to select the test. We'll go back into the contact and then right over here on this little note section, we can expand that. And there is the note. The reason I like to do this is because sometimes your fields can get lost over here. You'll be able to organize folders with custom values, custom fields and groups here, but this makes it really easy to get all the information you need to the questions that they answered on the mobile app. So instead of trying to have to go through and find what they were interested in, when you click on the contact, you have it ready and available right inside Notes. It's just a little quick tip that I like to do. It makes it easier to find and see when they came in as well. Now you're going to see that activity as you go through and see the activity. You can review that form by clicking that button here as well. So you can add a note or they can click on the activity and get right to the form. This is the same information that's in the form submissions that you saw earlier. I usually like to have it come in as a note because it's easier to read on the mobile app. You're going to have so much fun when it comes to setting up automations. Remember, the fastest way to get there is by selecting automations, find the website workflows, select the 3 dots and select edit workflow, and that'll get you right into the workflow. And as you create more and more of these, especially when you take the automations and workflow feature course, don't worry, you're going to be coming back to workflows after you get a little bit more used to the system. But getting these in is going to help those leads come in and help you really manage your CRM. Remember, you get out of it what you put into it. So every time somebody visits your website, now the lead is officially coming into your opportunities for you to manage your sales pipeline. Workflows save you time by automating routine follow-up tasks. Start with that simple workflow, then expand as you get comfortable. Check your workflow history to confirm everything is running smoothly after testing. You don't want to spend too much time in there because you will be spending plenty of time in there later. You want to make sure that you get through the setup. Let's talk about calendars next.